And we begin with that verdict in the Sean Combs federal case. He was acquitted of racketeering and sex trafficking charges, but he isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. Combs' bail request was denied, which means he remains in custody until his sentencing this fall. NBC4's Karma Dickerson has been following the case all day. Joins us live now from the newsroom. Karma.
That's right, and there have been ups and downs in this case all day. Combs still faces up to 20 years in prison for the two crimes for which he was convicted. But his attorneys were trying to get him out of jail as soon as today as he awaits sentencing. But just a short time ago, a judge decided no, saying Combs is still a danger to others.
Sean Diddy Combs dropping to his knees in relief today in federal court as his verdict is read.
It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system.
Combs' loved ones smiling as they left the court this morning after that verdict. All of this a reaction to Combs being acquitted of the most serious charges against him.
And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough.
Diddy's defense attorneys calling today a win, though their evening did end in setback. Diddy will remain behind bars while he awaits sentencing. In denying bail, the judge pointing to the 55-year-old's history of domestic violence, saying he remains a danger to others. Journalists in court reporting Combs, who had walked into the bail hearing smiling, looked deflated by the judge's ruling. A reality check that though he beat more than half of the charges against him, Combs is now convicted on 2 federal felonies. Here's how the verdict breaks down. On day 3 of deliberations, the jury found Combs not guilty of RICO conspiracy and 2 counts of sex trafficking. However, they did find him guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution, 2 counts. This comes after a 7-week trial that drew massive attention. Combs has been a mega celebrity for decades, and in this trial, the music mogul was essentially accused of using status and power to run a criminal enterprise, which centered around sexual exploitation. The most famous alleged victim, his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
We're pleased that he's finally been held responsible for 2 federal crimes, something that he's never faced in his life. He still faces substantial jail time.
An attorney representing Cassie Ventura in a civil case against Combs weighed in shortly after the verdict.
Of course, we would have liked to have seen a conviction on the sex crimes in RICO, but we understand beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard.
Over the course of the trial, prosecutors brought 34 witnesses. The defense brought none, instead opting to make their case through cross-examining the prosecution's witnesses. Diddy faces 10 years in jail for each prostitution-related conviction.
At this point, Diddy is being held without bail ahead of his sentencing on 2 felonies, and that sentencing date has not yet been set. But the next court date to discuss sentencing is July 8th.